Hey everyone. So this is Trendline Investor and System Trader. I hope everyone is doing fine in these difficult times. I hope these days are soon behind us. Okay, so this is my Twitter handle, and I think many of you would be already following it. But if you haven't, then do follow me. I'm sure you'll learn something about investing or sometimes even about short-term trading. And I do post a lot of charts, and mostly I trade cash stocks both short term and long term. Sometimes I hold from few weeks to some of the stocks. If they do really well, I hold them even for a year or so. And for investing, obviously look for long term breakouts, and then I focus on them and I hold them. Now, primarily I follow chart patterns and trend lines, so that's why my handle name is Trendline Investor. But obviously, I also trade Nifty and Bank Nifty, but that's purely a system. In fact, it's an algo which I trade. Apart from that, so we will be focusing mostly on medium to long term patterns. So, which means a pattern somewhere around which forms over a period of 2 months to sometimes even multi-decade patterns. And I feel any pattern which is anything lesser than 3 months would not really work. In fact, it might fail many a times. It doesn't mean that long term patterns also would work. Everything in market has a probability, as all of you know. So what I'm trying to do is, so this is my first video, and I hope all of you like it. And the main objective is to try to help people understand how to analyze stocks, how to go about scanning them, how to read the charts, and also how to look at some fundamental parameters to help you choose good stocks to hold for short term to medium term to even long term investing. So I'll try to post videos every week with some objectives. So please do feel free to post what topics you would like me to cover. Anything to do with investing in short-term trading and purely cash stocks. I am not an expert in futures and options, so I stay away from futures and options. So let's get started with today's video. So today I wanted to cover one of the stocks which I posted, which is KNR Constructions. So let's jump onto the charts. So the first thing that I look in a chart is the long-term trend, right? So in this case, I'm looking at the monthly chart here, and if you see, KNR actually had an amazing run from 2014 to 2017, right? So this was actually a multi-year breakout. So since the IPO, the stock was listed in Feb 2008, and then it did not cross the same IPO level. It came down all the way, then went high, did not cross that level. Then it again had a nice fall all the way to 9 rupees, 10 rupees odd. And then it again went and had a nice breakout here with an amazing set of amazing volumes in June 2014, right? So this is a pattern. Now, this is a kind of an ascending triangle. You have this clean horizontal pattern level defined on the top, and you have kind of two touch points here which have connected to form the ascending triangle pattern, right? Now, this pattern has been formed over a period of 6 years, and a breakout of a 6 year pattern is going to be powerful, right? In some cases, it might fail, but in some cases, it will work. Remember, in markets, everything has a 50-50 probability. It'll either go up or down. There's nothing else that can happen, right? So we want to ride stocks which are going up, right? And most of us want to make money. So in this case, in 2014, when it broke above this 40 levels with very good volumes, right? So that volume is a good indicator to find who is buying these stocks. So this has been bought by big guys, not someone like us. And since then, we had a 3 year rally all the way up to December 2017, right? So from almost 2.5 years, the stock went up from 40 to almost 340, right? 350 levels. And since then, it has gone into a consolidation mode. Now it's been consolidating for almost 3 years, December 2017, and we are in December 20. So that's a 3 year consolidation. And I feel that this stock probably is going to go higher from here. And this is in the infra segment. I'm not sure if something's going to happen big in the infra in terms of spending from the government. But I think this pattern, which it has already broken out, so this is kind of a descending triangle. You see those clear bottom line for the triangle, and then this sloping downward line over here, right? So these are these places where people were selling, and that zone has been overpowered by the buyers, right? So we have some amazing volumes here. It's the similar kind of volumes that we saw here in the breakout in 2014. Now, the only hurdle here that I see is the all-time high, which is around 350, and the stock is right now at 332, but it did go to 347.6 this week, and I expect this to cross 350 sometime soon, right? So if we have to buy this, I would buy it above 350, uh, and we look at a stop soon. So this is the monthly chart, right? So the trend is very strong, and then we had a nice consolidation for 3 years, and then we are trying to have a breakout here. Now let's go to the weekly charts and see what's been happening since the start of December. So since the COVID crash, I think here we've had some nice big green candles, right? And not so big red candles. In fact, the volumes have been going down. Whenever there's a downtrend, the volumes have been going down, and we had nice big green candles. And the last 2 weeks have been really good, and except for the crash yesterday. Now I'm going to the daily chart to see what's happening, right? So we had 2 days with nice big supply over here, but I think which shouldn't matter. So it's just a short-term down move, I feel. So so here again today, the gap here which was created has been filled, and I think the stock is going to go up soon. Now, if I have to place a stop for this, I'd buy above 350 with a stop in the swing low, right? So swing low is around 290. So we can go into the stock above 350. So once it crosses 350, we buy with a stop of 290. So that's around 17-18% stop, which we would have for the stock, right? So that's about the technical analysis, right? So there are two schools of thoughts: technical analysis and fundamental analysis. So this is all about the technical analysis that I had to cover today for KNR Constructions. Now, having going to the fundamentals, let's have a quick look. So this is the infrastructure sector, right? So they're primarily into roads, bridges, flyovers. So I think if the government is going to have a lot of projects coming in the next few years in these sectors, then this is going to be a big beneficiary. Now, how big is this company? It has a market cap of around 4,600 crores. And a few parameters that we look at is the ROCE, which is a return on capital employed. So if the company is investing 100 rupees, they are able to make a return of 19%, 90.7%, which is pretty good, right? So any company which has a ROCE of around 20% is pretty decent, in fact, pretty good, especially in sectors like infra, where yeah, it's not been growing that well in the last few years. And the return on equity has been around 18.3%. Now, one other thing that I usually look at is interest coverage, right? So if the company has interest of 1 rupee, then they have around 3.4 rupees as cash, which they can actually cover, or liquid assets, which they can actually cover by paying. And the next one is to look at the debt equity. So if they have equity of 1 rupee, they have only a debt of 0.46, right? So which is again pretty good. They don't have much debt. Now, looking at a few other parameters, so I usually go to the peers. Let's see how big they are. So they are in fact the biggest in the construction space, right? So they have around 4,600 crore market cap. So in terms of market cap, they are the biggest, but in terms of sales, we have other companies which are actually better than them. Now, a quick look at the profit and loss in the quarterly segments. In the quarterly results, if you see, they've been having around 600 crore sales for the last few years, for a few quarters. But coming to the yearly, which would give you a good picture, is here. So 2009 to 2014, they had kind of, not much growth in their sales. But then the bull market for KNR started in 2014, right? So we saw that in 2014, there was a massive breakout here, somewhere in June. But here, if you see in June, they had 895 crores of sales, and then it just started picking up, and that's how markets identify that these companies are doing well. So markets are always well in advance, and they would not really wait for the numbers to come to the market, and then they would rise. So the 2014 bull run started somewhere when the sales started increasing again, and and since then the sales has almost tripled, right, since 2014. So we are right now at 2400 crores, 2500 crores, and that's even a 20% growth in the last 2 years. So yes, and one more interesting fact is the operating margin. So if you see here, we have increased. So KNR has increased its operating margin from 14% to right now 26-25%. That's pretty good numbers for an infrastructure company, and even the profits have gone up really well In fact, they have gone up from 292 to almost 400, right? So that's 33% growth, whereas the sales hasn't grown much. It's grown up only 5% in the last couple of years. Now, looking at the CAGR numbers, which is very important to look at, whether the company is growing, because if you invest in a company which is not growing, it's not really going to make you money. So in this case, we had the sales has been growing at a 20% CAGR in the last 5 years. The last 3 years at 14%. The profit has been growing at a 31% CAGR, and in the last 3 years at a 6% CAGR, which means the company is doing something right, which I'm not aware of at least, to post such good profit numbers. So yeah, so that's all. And maybe one last thing is the promoters. They do have a pretty standard holding, around 50%. So anything above 50 is, if the shareholders are holding anything, promoters are holding more than 50%, that's something which I would consider as a decent number, right? So yeah, that's it. So that's it for KNR. So buy above 350 with a stop around 290. Let's see how this goes. Thank you. If you do like this video, do retweet and do share it amongst your friends. I'll have more such videos coming every week, probably. Thank you.